Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of DV Live City Talk. I'm Amanda Acom, the marketing coordinator at Desert Valleys Federal Credit Union. And before we jump in, make sure you like and subscribe so you never miss out on a conversation. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I am doing well.
Are you enjoying this lovely windy week?
Yeah, it's definitely time for the cool weather, so here we are.
I know. What was it? I looked on the weather app and I saw it's supposed to be like 34 or something.
Yep.
And I was like, my thriving weather. So welcome, Rebecca, and congratulations on your new position at the Chamber.
Thank you.
So before we jump in, can you tell us who you are, what you do, and a fun fact about yourself?
So my name is Rebecca McCourt, and I'm the executive director at the Ridgecrest Chamber of Commerce. And I've been there since the end of June. And a fun fact about myself, I actually got to study abroad when I was in college. So
really?
Yeah.
Where at?
I went to Argentina for 6 months.
Wow. How was that?
It was great. It's an experience that I would say that anybody that has the opportunity to study abroad definitely should, because when are you really going to be able to do that again? So
that's true. Now that's definitely warmer weather.
I mean, so
humid?
so I was in Buenos Aires, and I mean, more humid because you're on the river, but, and then I did get to do some traveling while I was there. The seasons are flipped. So, because the Southern Hemisphere. So, right. It gets hot there too, but yeah, got to go all the way down to Ushuaia, which is the southernmost city of the world. And
is that
traveling
where the little short penguins are? Mm-hmm. What are they?
Oh my gosh. The
Magellan penguins.
Yeah. And you go in the Beagle Canal, and it's,
How awesome. So. I've always, so when I went to SeaWorld for the first time as a kid, penguins got loose. And they were walking around the park. So I always thought you could just have a pet penguin. And that's where I was introduced to Magellan penguins.
How tangential we can get here. But my mother's good friend was a teacher in the New York City system. And they went to an aquarium. And this was probably in the 60s, and a kid stole a penguin from the aquarium, and they were going back on the subway, and they're like, Miss Pascal, so-and-so has a penguin. And that was a famous story growing up. We always heard about the kid that stole a penguin.
Now I want to know, was the glass short thin?
It was there were probably no regulations or fewer regulations in place versus how we visit now. So
perfect.
Anyway, sorry.
If I would hear that, I probably would have been like, oh, they bought a penguin at the gift store or something. Not I have an actual live penguin.
No, he stole a penguin.
Perfect. That's where Mr. Poppers probably came from.
Probably.
So today we are going to chat about the Chamber.
Yes.
Because I'm sure a few people watching maybe don't know its function, don't know the benefits.
Yeah.
And everything you guys do for this community. So let's just start there and dive right on in.
Okay.
What is the purpose of the Chamber of Commerce?
Yeah. So the Chamber of Commerce is a mutual benefit organization. So we're for businesses to businesses to network and grow their presence in the community as well as with other businesses. So we help facilitate those connections through different events and just through our own resources. And
what type of events do they get to participate in?
Yeah, so we have a few regularly occurring events. We have a monthly luncheon. It's on the second Tuesday of every month. Okay. During these cooler months, we have a coffee club on the first Thursday. So we have one.
Everyone watching knows I love my coffee.
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning.
Yep. 7:30 to 9, just outside at the Chamber. I mean, we have the inside open too if it is really cold, but it's just a time to make those connections. We try to do a business after hours on the third Thursday of the month, and that's where businesses actually host at their place of business. So that way people can come into their location and, see what you do. And then just make connections there.
Okay.
And then we have our big annual events that we do, such as the Economic Outlook Conference.
And that's in February?
Mm-hmm. So the next one is going to be February 23rd. It's the fourth Thursday of the of February usually. So
Okay.
yeah, so we're in planning mode for that right now.
I know, always ahead of the game. So for the luncheon and coffee, things like that, how do people attend? Or can they just show up? Do they have to be a member?
Yeah, so the coffee club's open to the community. It's no RSVP or anything required. It's just come by. We have, nothing fancy, but we get, some light refreshments and coffee, obviously.
So I guess community members can come check out businesses too if they're looking for like a baker or landscaper, way to connect those resources.
Yeah, definitely. And even if our businesses, not everybody can attend, but we're always advocating for our members. And so if somebody comes seeking out a specific service or product, we can usually connect them. So community members are welcome to come by.
I feel like that's a little more reliable than me just going on like a random Facebook group asking for suggestions.
I mean, we usually have some pretty solid resources. I won't judge the Facebook groups, but I mean, our members use each other too. They're, that's the good resource of having those experiences, right? So you're getting references that people have actually checked out. They're not just like, oh, I heard about this one.
Yeah. Here's my sister's brother's dog's original dad. So you can use him as labor.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's important, and especially if you're worried about, either reliability or quality. I mean, those are important factors. So
okay. And then the luncheon, how do people attend for that?
So the luncheon, we do request RSVPs. Otherwise, it'll cost you a little bit more if you just show up, because it is a catered luncheon that you're buying attendance for. So we want to try to have enough food. So you just contact the chamber and say,
there was one time,
and again, that can be community members too. It's not exclusive to members. Anybody can attend those also.
So how would community members be able to reach out? Just call the chamber office to RSVP?
Mm-hmm. They can call the chamber office or email us, chamber@ridgecrestchamber.com.
That is something I never knew.
Yeah.
Okay. And I do love the luncheons. It's always fun.
Yeah. It's, and that's where you make those connections that you might not otherwise do because you're in a less formal setting, right? It's a pretty, I mean, we try to provide a program and have some information there. But then you also have people just providing promotional things that are going on. There's usually flyers on the table, things that.
Oh, okay. Like different events or something that they're hosting.
Something they're hosting, or if they have like a discount on something going on, there might be coupons occasionally. So and that's something our members can provide too when they attend. Like if they have an event coming up or something, we encourage them to bring a handout. So that way to get the more information, the more places you can disseminate information is always helpful.
And same for after hours, anyone can attend?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That is awesome. I never knew that. I thought it was a member only experience. So
nope.
Okay. And then how do people become, or how do businesses, or I guess people become a member of the chamber?
So you can go through our website. We have all the information on the website. We have an application, things like that. But, we encourage people to contact us so we can answer any questions too, because there are different levels of membership. And we really want to make sure to match what your business need is best with what level you may be joining at or interested in joining at. So,
and how many different levels or what are there?
I'm going to tax my memory now as far as how many.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm putting her on the spot now.
So we have basically 5 levels. One is the basic is open only to like home-based businesses. So or individuals, if there are individuals interested in joining, they are welcome to. But we're not going to have somebody who has a physical building, a brick and mortar facility join at like our home level business, just because that's not really what its intended goal is, right? We want to make the benefits of the chamber accessible to maybe some of those really, home-based businesses that are small and wanting that advantage. We want to make the chamber accessible, but we don't want to limit bigger businesses to not.
That makes more sense. Yeah. So it's like, I guess the different tiers based on somewhat size, I guess?
Not necessarily. So the home waste one, yes, but beyond that, it's kind of like you just have additional benefits.
Okay.
The higher up you go. So it's going to be like visibility at our events, so our Chairman's Circle members, their logo is going to be at pretty much all of our events because we're going to be identifying them and highlighting them. Accessibility to being in our publications,
gotcha,
things like that. And then also accessibility to our contacts as far as like getting a listing of our members are available to different levels of membership.
That's awesome. I'm glad it's not like a same across the board. So the little guys aren't swimming with all the big guys and fighting.
Right. Yeah. And it's like I said, if there's any question about what really makes most sense for somebody's business, like just contact us and we can certainly go over what those differences are and really spell them out.
Okay. So another resources or I guess attribute is the ambassadors and leadership Ridgecrest.
Yes. So the ambassadors are basically a committee of the chamber and they are meant to be liaisons and advocates for the chamber as well, but they're the ones you see at events in the red polos. I think they're looking at getting jackets too.
And they're like the ribbon cuttings and everything.
Right. They definitely do the ribbon cuttings, the business after hours. They're a big presence. And to be an ambassador, you either have to be a member or an employee of a member. So, and I know they're always looking to increase their forces. It's always good to have more and have that presence. But so if that's something people are interested in, they can certainly reach out to the chamber and we can provide more information on how to get involved in that. So.
And then Leadership Ridgecrest?
So Leadership Ridgecrest is a leadership program, not to use the word in its definition, but it's had 2 classes so far. We're looking at getting it started September of 2023 again.
Okay.
So we are hopefully going to be getting some information about that soon. But basically it's a way for community members. The idea is to be, employees of our members, but it's not exclusive to employees of our members. But those who maybe are looking to be more involved in the community and also in their in the leadership within their organization too. So if an employer identifies that, hey, somebody really has a lot of potential, but needs to maybe either
like has never been in a leadership role,
right, or is like new to a leadership role, or is looking at maybe growing within this company long term, those are the employees that an employer may want to invest in going and doing this program, because then it gives the, I don't want to say students, but the attendees the opportunity to, we do a focus day on like government. And so you get to kind of meet with the city council members, meet with the county supervisor, maybe to just kind of connect with some of those pieces of our community that
see them in like a different light or.
Right. And I mean, for the most part, a lot of our current leaders are very accessible, but sometimes there's just that need to connect in a different setting.
That was one thing. Supervisor Peters was on earlier this year, and it was just a whole different light to be able to like sit back and talk about. I think it was during Whiskey Flats. He was talking about how his horse almost like bucked him off in the middle of the parade. And it's like, normally you don't see the supervisor talking about stuff like that.
Right. And, and also to just kind of identify like, what is important in this community? What is the history of this community? Because sometimes people, whether they grew up here or they didn't, like there are aspects that you don't always know, just depending on where what you're surrounded by, right? So, we tend to have sometimes different silos here, just like everywhere. But like, so really just getting that cross exposure of the community as a whole. And then, trying to provide some leadership skills along the way too.
One thing last year was I didn't know the history of the Petroglyph Festival and the significance of petroglyphs here.
Yeah.
So I always thought, I'm born and raised here. I always knew of the base and then Trona. But
yeah, well, I mean, yeah. So there's a lot in there. So that's the idea behind Leadership Ridgecrest. So,
and how long is it? It's a
9-month program. So it's kind of like a school year starts in September, you end in May or June, and it's once a month. It's like
oh, wow.
And that's what we've done previously. We're kind of revamping it right now, but it's been once a month, like a day long thing, and you just kind of do a whole day's worth of agenda, and
so it's like a little micro conference almost each month, like learning on that subject.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
and community members can join or sign up.
So it's how it was done was that you had to apply, and there was a tuition fee. But typically the employer sponsored the employee, but we did have like a small business owner that was sponsored by another business owner in town because he identified that he wanted to, he was kind of mentoring her, I guess. So there are different ways. We did have scholarships available in the past. I'm not sure on that quite yet right now, but if there's something that
stay
people are
tuned for next
interested
year.
in, we'll be getting information sent out as it gets ironed out. But there's.
So speaking of scholarships, you guys do have one for students in the community though, correct?
We do, yes. So that's for graduating seniors, and throughout Ridgecrest and Trona as well are eligible.
Okay.
And that information typically comes out like March or April as far as how to apply, but it's open to anybody who's graduating, who's going to be going on in their education.
Okay.
So
does that include trade schools or just college institutions?
I'm going to reference my notes.
Oh, look at me putting you on the spot here. It's okay. Usually I have my notes here, but today I haven't made it to my computer. I've made it to my energy drink, and that's it.
It says we'll be attending a 2-year or 4-year college. So I think that a trade school would apply for that.
Okay.
So,
well, I do know a lot of people, the welding program here locally at Saracosa's picked up.
Well, and there's such a demand for those different skills right now. Like, I mean, that's the way to go.
It really is.
Yeah. Yes. So,
my husband makes fun of me. He's like, how do you sit at a computer all day? And I was like, how do you do hard labor all day? So, and then what else do we have here? Ridgecrest events. That's one thing I really wanted to talk about.
Okay.
I know I used the events in the past when I worked at the theater and just started picking that back up. I feel like a lot of the community members don't know about this resource.
Yes, I would agree. And I do think it has started to pick up a little bit. So ridgecrestevents.com is a free community calendar. It is a partnership between the Ridgecrest Chamber of Commerce, the Ridgecrest Area Convention and Visitors Bureau, which they do the California Welcome Center, and the Indian Wells Valley Economic Development Corporation. So it's a website that you can submit your events on, and then there it is. You don't have to pay anything to have your event listed on this calendar. Anybody can visit it, and
okay.
So the idea is to, like you said, for when you want to know, hey, what's going on this weekend, you can go and see what's going on this weekend. Or if you're planning an event, you can look at what is scheduled that weekend already. And as soon as you schedule something, you can put it on there. So then other people know, oh my gosh, this is already happening that weekend. Maybe I shouldn't do my thing at the exact same time. But
I know, I feel like obviously the cooler weather.
Right. There's just more stuff.
And Fair Weekend typically brings out like tens of thousands of events all on the same weekend.
Of course. And that, and it is, we do have that time period where there is just more stuff going on, but then at least you know what's going on. So.
I will say over this last weekend, because it was Halloween, I was like, man, there's so many things to take my kid to. I think we're just going to sit at home and only trick or treat on Monday.
I'll people out on Monday. But yeah, so ridgecrestevents.com. The other thing is that we have, the Chamber of Commerce has the electronic sign on the corner of China Lake and Bowman. Yes. And so the events that are on there are also on ridgecrestevents.com. So if you ever are like sitting at the stoplight and you see something, but then you like have to turn or your light turns green instead of getting honked at, like if you want to find out more details or like remember what that was, it's on ridgecrestevents.com. So you can go and search, whatever you remember. If you remember the date, you can look at it by date. You can search a keyword, things like that. So
anyone who submits on Ridgecrest Events, how do they, I guess, get their advertisement on the sign?
So that is not free necessarily, but contact us and we can look at that. There is on our website, ridgecrestchamber.com/sign. Gonna have to we can follow. It's on the menu on the left-hand side. But so a lot of the details are there, but just reach out and we can kind of look at that and what is available.
Well, awesome. Any events coming up that particularly sticks out? I know next year we've talked about EOC. Yes. Oh, Follies. Will Follies be back?
Follies will be back. Yes. Again, for people who know what Follies is and has participated, you'll probably be getting information soon. But yes, Follies, it's going to be later in April this year. It's April 28th and 29th.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So
not April Fool's Day.
Not April Fool's Day. Not the end of spring break for Sierra Sands, at least. I know it wasn't everybody's spring break, but
for those who don't know what Follies is, can you expand a little bit?
So Follies is it is a performance. So full disclosure, not my expertise yet. I am learning Follies. I have attended, but I haven't been in all the nitty gritty of it. So,
and this year, will you be up on stage? Or next year, will you be up on stage?
I'm going to be helping with the facilitation of the event.
The orchestrator.
Yes.
Right there.
And not to take anything from our board and the committee that does all of it, because I will not be the general, like the main facilitator, but I'm going to be supporting the event. And Janice Bottorff is really the one that does that amazingly. So it is a fundraiser. It goes, a lot of the funds go to our scholarship fund that we were talking about, and to the chamber. And so we can continue to do things and operate. It's local community members and business owners and up on stage doing a lot of lip syncing performances. And it is a fantastic time. Yes, it's very entertaining. And
I say that now. I think last year 4 people were like, you should get up there and do that. And I was like, yeah, no. Nope. Everyone gets to see me on here do my own folly every day. But no, I think it's a great event in the scholarship portion as well. The more resources that students have, I think, to further their education needs to happen locally, even within the district. And I don't know how to get that information out to people.
Yeah.
But I think last year it really opened my eyes when people were like, I think I'm going to take a year off because I can't afford it, or, I don't want to do the work. And it's like, at Desert Valleys, we offer a scholarship, and it's a fun way to do a video.
Okay.
So it's something different. Mm-hmm. And then just the opportunities to help fund that. Mm-hmm. I mean, just going and watching people goof around and lip sync. Come on.
Exactly.
Lip sync battle.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it's like, to your point, I mean, sometimes taking a year isn't the worst thing if you got to decide what you need to do or whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, for those who know, like, hey, I'm ready to go on. I have my program. I know what I want to do. Like, I guess having those additional resources are really helpful.
And not just relying on, hey, do I have to fund this myself?
Right.
Or a loan or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, because we don't Yeah. So that's always a good program. And there's a lot of them in the community. You just have to know where to look. So
I know. That's one of the big things. Anything else you want to chat about today? I think we covered a lot of the chamber items.
So I'm trying to think what else we had. I'm going to look at my cheat sheet.
Especially like the EOC coming. You said fourth Thursday?
Yes. So February 23rd, 2023.
Okay.
And I want to say it's our 36th annual, but don't quote me on that one. Yeah, I think it's the 36th annual Economic Outlook Conference. So
any details on that? Entrepreneur panel back?
We're hoping to do that. It'll be earlier in the program. And yes, so
okay.
Yep. And more details to come for sure. And interested in, having a presence there to reach out and let us know. And
Well, thank you for everything that you've been doing and learning on the fly today.
Thank you.
So I appreciate you, and everybody, make sure you check out ridgecrestevents.com and then as well as ridgecrestchamberofcommerce.com.
Just ridgecrestchamber.com.
Okay, ridgecrestchamber.com.
Yep.
There we go.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Have a great evening. See, pretty.